La 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 la. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see, I'll take those, and I'll take decaf. Gotta take the decaf. And more decaf. And my super duper high tech coffee maker. I haven't used that thing in a couple of weeks because, I mean, I'm just one guy, so I just use the pour through. And the cherry powder. This stuff is so loaded with the vitamin C that it is just crazy. And that's this stuff. It's called areola powder. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely bring those. They have sucralose in them, but I dilute them dramatically with water. I wish I could take my super duper alkaline water machine along, but I can't. So just in case you haven't guessed, I'm about ready to take off on a trip. And the thing is, I have basically been crippled for like weeks. Months, really. The whole, in fact, it's a little warm in here. I think I'll just sit in the workshop. Nice and cool in here. Beautiful day out there. There's some of my tools which Joyce didn't steal. I still have to replace a few things. She stole deep well sockets, shallow standard sockets, all easily replaced though. About 3 weeks ago, I fell off the wagon and bought Arby's. And I know why, because I was having horrible sugar cravings, and now I know why. But basically, so I basically squeeze a lemon in there and then throw a little bit of stevia in there and then dilute it with the alkaline water. I just a half a lemon and a couple of packs of stevia plus the alkaline water and some ice, and I get about the same enjoyment as a soda. Man, it's hot. And that is quite a change from the way I have been living the last 5 months even. It was the weirdest thing. I would jump into, I would like start the day all energetic and everything and do my cancer workout, and I would be all perfectly functional and everything. And it was like, and it's gotten so, it had gotten so that I had, if there was anything important I needed to do it early in the day, because I would just fall apart in the evening, in the afternoon. And now I know why. and it's all about observation. And that is a permaculture thing. You basically, you're building a system and you put in your plant, you create your design and measure out how energy flows and through your system, as far as like the sun and the wind and everything, and how the and what views you want to block. Like if you have a neighbor that you don't like, you can plant something there that produces and blocks the view of them, and preferably something that grows pretty quick. You know, like if you need like building material for like junk pole fences or something, you could plant like clumping bamboo, which doesn't spread. Or if you really hate the son of a bitch, you can plant standard bamboo and have it spread all through his yard and drive him batshit crazy. But I'm more of a clumping bamboo kind of guy. So then you can like just, when the bamboo is like 8 feet tall, you can cut it down and cut pieces and cut individual bamboos and create fences and use it for building material. But I am digressing badly. The thing about permaculture is you build your system and you watch it grow, and you are there on the land. You are present, and you have to be present in mind as well as present in body, and really watch what's going on, and that is what they call observe. And it's one of the rules of permaculture. But to my embarrassment, I don't know what number it is, because I am like not an expert in permaculture, even though I have been a fan of permaculture for years. I haven't concentrated as much as I should, and I've never taken a permaculture design course. And except for like I've watched a few of them on video, but basically a lot of the times numbers just don't stick. But observing and observation is one of the tenets, one of the main rules of permaculture. So I have I observed my body just falling apart in the afternoon. I would basically get up in the morning, and I would just be fine, and I'd do all my like morning stuff, and then sometime in the morning, and maybe around 10 or 11 in the morning, or maybe noon if I was lucky, my butt would just fall off and I would just collapse, and I would be so friggin' horribly, hideously cold and massively tired, like chronic fatigue syndrome tired. And it was and it's been really debilitating, and it's gotten in the way of everything I've been trying to do. I think I've mentioned it a few times, but I'm not one to harp on negative shit too much. Well, unless it's marriage. I'll harp on that. But anyway, so, and then the other day, I was just really, thinking, what the heck is wrong with me? And I realized, like after coming back from breakfast with my old man, he doesn't live with me anymore, but we're still on friendly terms, but I don't feel comfortable living with him anymore, because he didn't have my back when Joyce was stealing everything I own. He didn't even give me a phone call to warn me of the horrendous emotional hurricane, earthquake catastrophe I was walking into. And then when I walked into all that with no warning, such a horrendous, hideous betrayal. And I walked into all of that with no warning at all. And within 2 days of being here, my liver was hurting so bad I could breathe like 30%. before I started having horrible splitting agony in my liver. But and if I had received a warning from him, even a phone call or a text, uh, before I came home, I would have been emotionally ready for it and prepared, and then it might not have hit me anywhere near as bad. I suspect I wouldn't have ended up suspecting I was going to die, because I thought I was like that close from that far away from dying. I mean, I was like just a little bit more pain. Well, 30% maybe more pain, and I would have called it a day. And let's not dwell on that. But the result is I can't trust him. He doesn't have my back. So I invited him to leave. I mean, yeah. And then he did leave, and he's living in a kind of a crappy extended stay hotel apartment thing, where where guys who don't plan their future and fritter away all their money, that's where they end up, right? Well, anyway, that's where he is. Well, he's okay, but I suspect it might be a passive thing where he was saying, "Oh, look at my horrible situation," and then, "Are you going to invite me back?" And I'm letting him stay where he is. But anyway, we're still on reasonably decent terms. Okay, now back to my point again, as I've diverted horrendously twice now. So basically, he and I took off in the camper. I wanted to give it a good test drive, and we went to an awesome place. It's a bit of a drive, but I wanted the test drive, and if you're ever up here in Washington State on I-5 north of Longview, Washington, go to a place called Rambling Jack's Ribeye, and man, do they have good steaks and freaking amazing food. But basically, after breakfast, even as we were getting into the camper, I was already starting to get cold, and I've always gotten a little bit cold after I eat, but never. It's gotten so much worse in the last 6 months, and then. So basically, by the time I got home, I was just freezing, and then all I could do was just sit there in my coat. I didn't even take my coat off in the house, and it was like 77 degrees in the house, and then I after he left, I laid down just for a second, and I was gone. And then the penny dropped, as they say, and the little light bulb went off above my head, and the scales fell from my eyes, and I realized what it is that has been just debilitating me to such a horrible extent. And the thing is, it doesn't always happen, but it happens more than it doesn't. And basically, when I go like out to breakfast or something with the old man, I sometimes cheat a bit and have some carbs, right? And I might actually have some toast or something, or maybe some hash browns with breakfast, right? And when I do that, I don't have the problem as much. But then when I am really on my diet, then basically I just fall apart when I come home. And then I realized what it is. It's friggin' caffeine. It's coffee that's doing it to me. And as horrible and disgusting and a freaking betraying, backstabbing bitch that my horrible, hideous sister is. She taught me a few things about diabetes and hypoglycemia because of all her moaning and complaining about what she's going through, right? And because she is hypoglycemic as well as a diabetic, right? And what I seem to be now is a hypoglycemic. So what happens is your liver is responsible for maintaining your blood sugar and at a certain level, right? And if you drink a bunch of caffeine, your metabolism shoots up, and it burns up all the sugar in your bloodstream, and your liver then goes into high gear and starts converting fats, which it pulls from your fat cells and other things like glycogen in your bloodstream, and it basically takes it and converts it into sugar, right? It breaks it into little pieces, and those little pieces are glucose, right? And then shoots it into the bloodstream, and then your cells pick it up, and everything's great. But my problem is that my liver is about half cancer. So I only have about half the normal amount of liver that most people have. So the result is when I was drinking the coffee, my liver couldn't keep up, and then the result was I was just having this horrible, hideous drop in my sugar levels, blood sugar, and I would just fall into this useless blob of misery, just laying in the freaking bed all friggin' day, and it was just pretty. It was such a waste of time, and I am so glad I got it figured out now. So what I'm doing now is I cut way back on the caffeine, way back, and like this morning I had 1 scoop of regular coffee and 1 scoop of decaf in my little coffee strainer device, and basically had a little bit of carbs with my breakfast this morning, and it seems to match up, and I'm functional, and I'm able to pack up my crap and get it into the camper, and I plan to transfer the flag, the Vention flag, from this house here to the camper tonight, and then I'm going to sleep in the camper tonight, but before I leave, I want to grab the riding lawnmower. I call it the ox. There it is right there. It's a piece of shit, but it does the job. But anyway, I'm going to run it over the lawn out front over there to make the place halfway look lived in, and then I'm going to take off on my trip. I'm not going to say where I'm going because I'm not at liberty to do so. I'm off to help a friend of mine, but it's sort of it's a little bit of a delicate situation, so I'm not going to say much about it, but it's going to be a fun trip. And then after that, I'll probably return here, mow the lawn again, and then take off to Montana and hang out with the permaculture people again. That should be fun. So, oh man, yeah, it is so nice to be functional again. So basically the takeaway, this is sort of an update on my cancer problem. You know, I'm here as a forward scout to keep my MGTOW brothers aware of the good things and the bad things of things that happen to MGTOW when we get like 20 years down the MGTOW path, right? And one of those things is aging. And another one of those things is some of the health problems we can run into and what we can do to avoid them, what we can do to deal with them when they come to us and happen to us. And one of those things is cancer. So I'm keeping everybody up to date on what happens and what you can do if you happen to get a nasty case of colon cancer like me, right? And then perhaps maybe you won't have to wear a bag attached to your side like I do. So, but anyway, one of the problems with liver cancer is that the tumors can grow to the point where they start blocking the passages and the functionality of the liver. And then the result is the liver can't produce the sugar you need in your bloodstream. So you end up becoming more hypoglycemic as the cancer gets worse or better. And then, but the cool thing is that if you can knock out the cancer and shrink the cancer, the liver can grow back. Supposedly livers do regenerate. It just takes a while. So basically, the takeaway for this entire video is that if you have liver cancer, you can become hypoglycemic. So that's about all I got for you, my brothers, and don't get married.